Hi guys. In this lesson we're going to do the midpoint formula. Now probably the word already tells you what it's about. So let's just look, what is this midpoint? It's if you've got a line segment and you go halfway on that line segment, you will find the point right in the middle. As easy as that. As I said, this is a very easy section. Now the method, we always need to know exactly step by step what we need to do. Remember that to draw a sketch, I'm going to write it again, a very rough sketch. You're not going to spend time on that. Then you assign your values. You know your coordinate x1, y1 or x2, y2. Then you write down the formula as previously. Whenever you've got a formula, you know the next step would be to substitute normal values into those letters, and then just the final answer, you give a neat answer in a proper English sentence. Depending on what they asked you, you answer them properly. Good. Now once you know those steps, you'll see for all of analytical geometry, the ones that we're going to do, you've got the same steps, you've got the same method. That's why I say when we do a problem, don't look at the values. That is not important. You're never going to see these values again. Think of the steps one after the other, because that will tell if you can do the problem or not. So let's look at an example. They give you 2 points, E and G, and I've already drawn the sketch because it just looks a bit neater. What do I do when I read find the midpoint? I think I'm going to quickly just go back. I read a word now, and I told you what midpoint is, but I need to know how to find this midpoint. So I need a formula for this midpoint. So if I go back a step, we can check where we know now what it means. It's right in the middle, and actually our logical mind can tell us what it should be. If I want right in the middle of two x's, if I'm on 1 year and minus 1 year and I want right in the middle, I'm going to go to 0 because it's right in the middle. But how do I get it when I do it properly in theory? I take my x's there, if I want the x value, and I add the two x's to one another, and I divide it by 2. That is how one gets the midpoint. You do the same with the y's. You take the two y values that is given, you add them, and the minute you divide by 2, you get right in the middle. That's actually a normal logical thing. So just to write it down neatly, this is how we write down the midpoint of xy. Just be very careful that you use a capital M, because if you use a small m, it's for gradient, you remember. So I need to use a capital M because it's a point. Points are always allocated with a capital letter. And there's my formula. To get to the middle of something, you add the 2 that you've got, divide by 2, and you get to the middle of it. Good. Now the sketch, again, this one is drawn very neatly. If you draw it, you really just draw a rough sketch, approximately where the points lie, so that you can check in the end. Good. So let's just get back to example 1. We read the word midpoint, so immediately I'm going to do the midpoint of EG. The midpoint of EG, and I'm going to write down my formula. Now a point looks like that. You agree? A point consists of an x value and a y value in that order. So I need to have my x's on this side, but because I want to go to the middle, I'm going to say x1 plus x2 divide by 2 because I want the middle. Y1 plus y2 divide by 2 because I want the middle. Good. Now let's see what they've given me. They've given me the point E and G, so I'm going to, again, as I normally do, allocate a name, x2, y2, x1, y1. Now you probably wonder why I did it this way around. It really doesn't matter which way you do it around, as long as you know which point is which. So if I now start filling it in, remember what we do, empty bracket over 2, empty bracket over 2. You agree? Now I need to start fill it in. x1 was minus 2. x2 was 2. y1 was minus 2. y2 is 1. Now remember, I'm still busy with my midpoint here. I actually prefer to put the EG at the bottom. You can see whichever way, it doesn't matter. It's as long as you know I'm doing the midpoint of EG, and if you show it, if I work this out, minus 2 plus 2 is just 0. 1 minus 2 is minus 1/2. Now that is supposed to be my answer. How do I know if I'm on the right track? I go check my sketch. If you look at this point F there, can you see it could be 0 and minus a half? Now remember, if you just draw a rough sketch, you probably won't read it off as accurately, but you will be able to see it's underneath the x-axis, so it must be a negative y value, because remember, we make mistakes with signs very easily. So it's always good to go and check, and that is why when you do analytical geometry, you always draw a rough sketch. If they ask of you to draw a sketch, then you do it neatly, because then you can go and check your answer. Good. So let's take this all off, because you know what you always should do. You should go and redo it all on your own without looking at the answer at all, and make sure you can do the steps one by one. If you have done that, you can go and check. The answer will be written there neatly. There's the formula. There's the points that is allocated, the x1, y1 or x2, y2, and it doesn't matter which one you put where. And there is the rest of the answer. And just in the end, if they ask you to find the point F, you would write it down neatly like this. The final answer is where point F is. Can you see again, this is done a little bit different. We've done the X separately, and we've done the Y separately, and then we just put it back in a bracket. It depends on what you prefer. I prefer to write it in the bracket from the very start, but as you prefer, you're going to try both methods and see which one fits best, and then you can decide that is your bracket for the future. Good, let's look at another example. Again, they give you 2 points there. The sketch is drawn neatly for you, and they ask you to determine the midpoint. The midpoint. Immediately I know, okay, midpoint of this line AB, I need a formula. Be very careful. If they ask the midpoint, I cannot now write down a distance formula or anything else. I need a point. So that's why I make my semicolon there. The x's come in the front, the y's come at the back, but now I need the middle of it. So it's x1 plus x2 divided by 2, and it is y1 plus y2 divided by 2. Next step, I'm not even looking anywhere. I know I'm going to have to replace. So I put my empty brackets over 2. Put my empty brackets over 2. Oh, and now I must just decide which one is which. So I'm just going to take this one. I'm going to make it x1, y1. This one I'll make x2, y2. And if I start replacing, oh, there's my replacement. I can just fill it in. x1 was 6 plus minus 5. y1 was 2. y2 is minus 1. And it's still all the midpoint of AB. The midpoint of AB, remember the capital letter. So now we're going to just get the answer. 6 minus 5 is 1/2. And 2 minus 1 is also 1/2. And I'm going to check my sketch. Is it possible for that value there to be a half and a half? Yes. It's on the right-hand side of the y and the x-axis. It's very close to 0. So it is possible. So I can just say if they ask a specific point, they did not say a specific point, that they just said the midpoint. So this will be my midpoint. Now I'm not going to take off this one, because if you look at the next answer, you will see it's done exactly the same way. But here, when they got to the problem itself, we did the x separately and we did the y separately. And then in the end, we put it back into the coordinate form. Many times when people use this method, they forget to put it back in the coordinate form, and then they lose a mark. That is why I'm going to just go back here. I prefer to, from the very start, when I read the word midpoint, I go write down my midpoint formula. And the minute you've got a formula, all you do, you substitute the values in, and you get the answer straight away. So it's also much shorter if you use it like this. But as I say, just as you prefer. Good. Last example. Now, as normally when we do problems, we just don't do it straight away all the time, because we need to use our brains a lot. So sometimes we just give you the question in reverse. Let's see what this one does. A line joining C and D, oopsie, they do not give us D. So in this case, they do not give us the 2 points, but they tell us it has a midpoint of 1 and minus 3. What do you do when you read a word which you know a formula for? Always, you go write down that formula. So I'm going to write down the midpoint of CD is equal to, because it's a point, I'm going to make my coordinate. X's come here, Y's there. So it's X1 plus X2 over 2, Y1 plus Y2 over 2. And now I need to start substituting. I did draw my sketch. That was the first step. Remember, not accurately. I'm going to just quickly give names here. I'm going to make this X1 and Y1. I'm going to make this one X2 and Y2. Good. You know what I see now? This is my unknown, and I actually want that in the front of the bracket. So you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to just quickly swap them around. I'm going to it doesn't matter. I just prefer, you'll see when I write it now, I prefer to make this one, if I make this one my X1 and Y1. And you know what, in maths, you must always pick the method that is easiest. Don't write down something that looks complicated and then in the next step you need to correct it or change it to look better like the ones you're used to. We are used to having our x's in the front of a bracket. So when I now rather use this one as my x1, y1, it will give me that order. So now I'm going to make that one x2, y2. But if you now go and redo it at home and you swap them around, you will see I get exactly the same answer in the end. It's just that the order that I'm used to and that you're probably used to, x is in the front, is not like that from the very start. So let's start filling in. X1 is x plus minus 2. Oh, my empty brackets. I forgot the empty brackets. You see how easily it happens? So I should rather just do this first. This is your method. Empty brackets. Now I fill in. Y1 was y and y2 was 4. But in this case, they gave me this midpoint. Was 1 and minus 3. Good. Now I've got one coordinate on this side of the equal sign, and I've got one coordinate on this side of the equal sign. Because it's an xy coordinate and it's an xy coordinate, you agree with me, the x's need to be the x's and the y's need to be equal to the y. So if I just rewrite this now, x minus 2 over 2, which is this x coordinate, should be exactly the same as that x coordinate. Now, I wrote it on the left-hand side because we like to say x is equal to. Doesn't matter which side you write it. And the same there, that y plus 4 over 2, that y coordinate needs to be the same as this y coordinate, which is equal to minus 3. And now you've got two grade 8 little equations to solve. We do not like fractions at all. We get rid of it immediately. How do we get rid of fractions? By multiplying. And then it's easy. 2 plus 2 is 4. How do you get rid of that 2? You multiply with a 2, which gives me minus 6. So y is equal to minus 6 minus 4, which is minus 10. Let's see if this is possible. If you go there, is it possible for the x to be a 4? Yes, actually it is. Is it possible for the d to be a minus 10? Now you see this is drawn according to scale, which you're not going to do because you will not have time in a test or exam. You will just have a rough one. But you will see very clearly my coordinate. So just remember, my final answer will be, oh no, that's not my coordinate. That's not what they asked. What did they ask you in the beginning? They asked you the coordinate of D, not the midpoint. They gave you the midpoint. So you'll just write down my final answer, which will be D, was where x is 4 and y is minus 10. You see why it's so important to go and check what they asked you? I'm busy with the midpoint, so I just need to give the midpoint answer. But this is not what they asked here. They gave you the midpoint and they asked you to find the coordinate. Good. So there it is. Very easy, nothing difficult. I'm taking it off. You go and retry it at home. All on your own. Don't look at the answer at all before you've started. And once you're done, you can always go and check. There will the answer be written out neatly with all the steps, everything you need. And there's the final answer and the coordinate, which we got just now. Good. As you see, analytical geometry is really very easy. It's small little formulae. You know how a formula works. You do empty brackets, you substitute in, and there's your lesson done. Go practice it. Good luck. I'll see you next time.